Today is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. With that, we'll say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please enter the number you wish to connect to, followed by the pound. Please hold while I try to connect you. Welcome to the conference.
Okay. If everybody looked at the agenda, does anybody have any ratifications? The only thing I have is with the Stark County Electronic.
Does anybody have any ratification?
We're not gonna deal with that all day. Our recording's working.
Stark County Electronic.
There's two of me.
What is going on?
Someone's got it on speakerphone in the background.
We're gonna have to mute their phone.
If anybody's on the line, you need to mute your phone.
On the ratification of the agenda, just add on the Stark County Electronic Communications Retention Policy, also put record requests. With that, may I get approval of the agenda, please?
Did you add this? One last thing there. Dickinson Police Department, special event permit.
Yeah, down here. Oh, you want me, okay.
Yeah, I need you to add. Add the Dickinson Police Department, special event permit.
I'm sorry, also Karen says that we need to add on the Dickinson Police Department special event.
Like go with the Stark County security thing or what? That's separate on the bottom?
Does everybody approve the agenda? If so, signify by saying aye.
We need a motion.
I'll move we approve the agenda as amended. I don't know that we had a motion.
Okay, sorry.
Ken made a motion to
Oh,
approve it.
I'll second then.
Approved and seconded, everybody say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Motion carried. Minutes from the last meeting of February 1st, 2022. Does anybody have any corrections? If not, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Bernie moves to approve. For Commissioner Marsh, is there a second?
I'll second.
Everybody signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Accounts payable. Does anybody have any questions on accounts payable? If not, may I have a motion for accounts payable?
I would move we pay the accounts payable with the addendum.
I'll second.
Approved in second, roll call vote. Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried. Good morning.
Am I up?
You're up.
All right, good morning, Chairman Commissioners. Stark County Sheriff's Office highlights for, February 2022. Total calls for service in February were 1,183. This is down from 1,307 last year. There's 173 traffic stops made. This is up from 160 last year. 48 of those stops from the city of Dickinson, 125 stops in the county and neighboring small towns. There's 218 public relations stops, that's down from 278 last year. 12 bar checks, that's up from 7 last year. 3 theft-related calls from service, that's down from 5 last year. There were 17 canine usages, 5 truck reg stops. She also participated in 33 other calls for service. There's 21 agency assists. This is down from 26 last month, so that's more realistic numbers than what we were dealing with a couple of months ago, if you recall. We responded to 13 accidents. 0 of those were pedestrian, 0 fatality, 2 hit and run, 2 injury, and 9 property accidents. There was 84 total arrests in February. There was another large fentanyl arrest and meth seizure. That was agents from our area were tracking that. It actually happened south of Mandan, but that was destined for our area here. It was almost 2,000 fentanyl pills were seized, along with a good quantity of meth. What we're seeing is that down in Arizona, they're purchasing that for about 70 cents a pill and coming up here and selling it for about $30 to $70 a pill. So you can see the attraction there for selling fentanyl pills. Rufinol is reappearing in the area. We had an incident in our county. I can't get too more specific than that. There's also been several people that have approached me from Dickinson that believe they may have been a victim of that. Yeah, I got much more I can say on that than that. But we put a post on Facebook about that yesterday, and it's already got about 1,100 shares, so I'm glad that's getting out there. People if people would use caution, especially when in the bars and restaurants, that would be good. We have Bowl with the Cop coming up with this Saturday from 11 to 2. That's free for kids. They get pop and pizza and bowl for free. State's Attorney Engelstead, you're more than welcome to come help us with that event. All right. Look forward to seeing you there. Okay. Again, that's put on by the Stark County Association of Deputies. A special thank you to the Eagles Club and the Dunn County Fair Association for helping us out with that. We have Easter egg hunts coming up in Richardson, South Hart, Dickinson, and possibly, Belfield, South Hart, and possibly Richardson, as well as Dickinson next month. So got some very good sponsors for that. So thank you to all those involved in that. And the civil division transfer to the courthouse is almost complete. Everything's going well with that. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything else? Sorry, I tried to talk fast and get through this. All right, thank you.
Thank you. The Dickinson Police Department special event. That one, or no, which one is this?
I can do that now, though.
No, I'll bring it. Okay.
So we have from the Dickinson Police Department their annual Heroes Ball, which is going to be held April 9th. and it's going to be at the August House, and they are going to be doing raffles. I just need an approval from the commission to approve the special event permit for the Dickinson Police Department.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion?
So on the special event, what are we authorizing for them to be doing the raffle or what?
Yes, so it doesn't have anything to do with liquor or beer, but it has to do with them doing the raffle, and the commission is supposed to be proving any special event permits like that come in.
For the city?
No, the August House is county.
Oh, okay, that's right. I know, yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah.
Yep.
Question regarding permit fees for that?
It was, they were charged $25 just for the special event permit.
Okay, there was a motion and a second on the approval for the local permit for the
It's the Heroes Ball.
for the Heroes Ball. May I get a motion?
They already first and seconded it.
There's first and second.
So we're good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The first on first Stark County security proposal.
Hi, Tracy Tews with First on First. I did talk with Commissioner Messer a little bit last week and a little bit with Corey Lee after the last meeting. It sounds like the city of Dickinson has it figured out on their end on how they're gonna run some security with us and for us. So I guess I would still like to have Corey as a backup if that's possible, but they're meeting on it and discussing it tonight at City Commission as well, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion on that? Just, okay. NDSU. Kurt Glasgow.
I got some pamphlets here to pass out first.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Make sure you get the right numbers or whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Good morning, Kurt.
Thank you.
Well, Commissioners, thanks for having us here today, or having me here today. My name is Kurt Glasso. I'm with NDSU LTAP, born and raised in North Dakota, and happened to go to NDSU and crammed 4 years into 5 years and got an engineering degree. So then I spent a couple of years in the Army, and then spent the next 43 years with the Forest Service in the grasslands, building roads, trails, campgrounds, and stuff like that. Just a little history of my background. I retired, and then LTAP, NDSU called up for Upper Great Plains Transportation Institute. They wanted somebody here to talk to the oil-producing counties on roads and gravel, or whatever. So this is what we do for LTAP, the Local Technical Assistance Program. I serve the oil-producing counties, like I said, in the west part of the state here, and we put on a lot of training. The brochure tells you a lot of the training that goes on. And want to come first to thank Al Heiser and his group. They sponsored the county engineers meeting here a couple of weeks ago, and they sponsored a lot of training, and with your approval, sponsored a lot of training here. So we had gravel sessions and used the shop out here, and it really works good. And everybody likes to come to Dickinson and attend the training that we do have. One of the big things is that there's 60,000 miles of gravel in North Dakota that need maintenance and need gravel to cover them or whatever. And I would think Stark County's probably got 1,000 miles of those, 53 counties. So, and Al and his crew do a great job of doing that. One of the programs we have, there's a lot of programs other than that too, from safety to signing to right-of-way to a whole bunch of different things, including road design that we review or help people with that don't have engineering on staff. And, but what I'm here today for is our program for, it used to be a You Show Us program where the counties put in, show us what they're doing to improve the safety of their employees and improve their workforce and do things more efficiently. And Stark County's always been one of the leaders in that with Al and his crew. There were a couple of years ago, they had a culvert stacking pit or apparatus to put culverts so they aren't covered up with snow and all this stuff. You can get on them at any time of the year and you can load them up and one person can do that. This last year, well, we changed the name of the program to Innovative Challenge or Champions. And this last year, Al and his crew, Randy, they put together a trailer for cleaning out culverts in the wintertime and whatever with your approval, and they did a retrofit on the trailer and put a heater, power heater, pressure washer in there, heater in there, water from that attaches right up to a fire hydrant or anything else. Has got the control so they can pull the trailer out there and unplug culverts any time of the year, usually in the fall or the winter when they freeze up or whatever. So there was a hard time getting contractors to do that and whatever. So they had this idea. And that's why I'm here today, to recognize those folks with a poster and also some recognition so you guys know what's going on. The big thing is like all our training is also available to the commissioners or to anybody in the county that would like to attend. And I know Bernie's have been on a few sessions here lately and different ones. They're pretty educational, and especially the grader training is one of the biggest things is our hands-on grader training. You put the guy in the seat there, and everybody knows the commissioners are the best grader operators we got in the world, but we like to have the operators get up to that status of operating and grading in. So, but with that, I'd like to thank Al Heiser and then also Randy Dillinger's here, and I'll get a picture with them afterwards, but that's what we wanted to do, to present it to them, to make sure they get the recognition they deserve and well deserve. He's there at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning. I don't know how you pay him, but I can never.
Like 4:30.
4:30. I've only tried at 6. I don't get up that early anymore, so, but, right. Do you have anything to add, Randy, to that, to the trailer, whatever?
Well, you know, there's one other guy that he's out right now, he's sick or something, but that don't message should be recognized. He works with. He does good work. Team effort to make things happen.
Right. And thank Al for all his support and all the training sessions that we do have here in Dickinson. That's welcome. We really welcome that. So, and thank the commissioners for allowing that to happen and also funding some stuff. So, thank you much.
Thank you.
Do I do a picture now in case they leave?
Good job, guys.
They can't. They can't. He'll just grab it.
Mr. Heiser, County Road and the surplus equipment.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, if you look up on the screen there, we had Careers in Government here at the county shop here last week. There's trying to recruit some of these young, energetic people to come work at the road department. So we had a really good time. I think they enjoy it. They like coming out, crawling around in some of the equipment and see, and hopefully with enough people coming around, maybe we can retrain some young help, because I know our road department, none of us are getting any younger. So it's good to get some people that are enthused about, type of work that we do. There's one thing on the resolution record we need for the county BRO CVD 0045070 for the commission to authorize to sign that contract. We've had quite a discussion, or not discussion, issues with this project when it was bid through the DOT. We had some issues with the minority contractors. But anyway, we're going to go ahead today and award it to Schwartz. If something else happens, the DOT will let us know if anything changes. So, and the reason it's so crucial to get it done is because as many box culverts that are going in this country today, we need to get it done. We need to get the shop drawings approved and get in line to get this thing built so we can. And actually, this project is them 2 bridges kind of south of Richardson. So. We just need to authorize the chairman to sign that, and I believe Karen's got the resolution from the DOT.
I didn't put it in their packets because you were going to let me know if we were going to take the shorts bid or not.
Well, that's still up in there. At the conversation I had yesterday, they told me to go ahead with it. So all you have to do is just get it, and then
Okay, I do
Carla can
have
sign
it.
it.
It gets sent
Okay.
out. Yep.
I'll move to approve signature on that resolution.
I'll second that.
You moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Another thing is surplus equipment. We've got, every year, we seem like we gather up a bunch of stuff. We got a list up there. I just need a motion to declare it surplus. There might be a few other odds and ends. We can find some stuff's in Richardson, some's at our shop. And at Old Riding Moore, we replaced it, so we need to just make a motion to declare it surplus. It'll be sold March 26th at the Sheffield auction, so it'll be advertised.
I'd offer the motion to approve the surplus equipment auction and notice of public notice on that, but I'm just wondering if we should contact other departments within our jurisdiction to see if they have anything that they might want to include in that auction, if that, Mr. Heiser, if that's...
Sure, I'd visit, actually, some of them toolboxes come from the sheriff department vehicles. I think we kind of got some stuff up there, and I talked to and see if they need it. But yeah, I mean, we just, if there's some things, no use letting them get them cluttered up.
I know that Southwest District Health Unit just made a big move and likely have some things that maybe they're interested in putting in there, and I'll contact Sherry
Okay.
with that, and if they have anything, I'll have them make arrangements directly with the road department.
Chairs, desks, and file cabinets, tradition, I don't know what they have, but they traditionally don't sell.
No, I know.
But I mean, there might be some things, just let us know, because I'm sure the publication will have to be out here probably by the end of the month, so it gets advertised for a couple weeks in the paper, so
You said March 26th?
March 26th. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and then,
If there hasn't been a second, I'll second the motion to dispose of the surplus equipment. Oh, you did? Okay, perfect.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
okay, Highlands is not here today, but I believe he sends out his report, what they're working on. Another project that we're working on, Jeremy can probably allude to Lemoore, is 32nd Street and 107th Avenue. That's just where we stopped paving last year. We want to make that complete loop back to 22 because, there's really no good way to get around east side of Dickinson with anything at all other than coming down 94, going all the way to exit 56. So our goal is with this ARPA funds that we received is grade it now, and then as future funding comes along, we can pave it. Because I'm a firm believer, if you can rebuild the road and let it sit for a year or two, then you won't get all these settled spots that you see when you go on the highways. A freshly graded highway and paving the same year usually results in a lot of bumps and humps, so. And then I'll let the engineers do their reports. Crack sealing, we started crack sealing, of course, this morning. Mother Nature kind of put a screeching halt to that with the pavement being wet. So we're cutting some trees down, they're hanging in right away. We go with the plow trucks in these subdivisions, they raise heck with our beacons and stuff, so we're cutting some of them. And then here at 10 o'clock, we have a opening on some, every year we take hourly rental rates for rental equipment, and then we take the bid on gravel crushing, and then on miscellaneous paving projects. Usually we get a quote for that. If we got a spot we need paving or something. And then, and along with some of this funding, we got some subdivision and some other work that we're gonna put a set of plans together and possibly bid it, because there's gonna be a lot of paving going on around Dickinson, and I really like to take advantage of that when there's lots of competition. So we'll be coming up with them here in the future, what we're gonna be doing there, so. Other than that, I don't really have anything else.
There was some right-of-way fees were paid in our accounts payable. What project is
Them
that?
are for, I believe, they were down, these two that we talked about with this project we just bid on the DOT. And then the other one was out the ones we did last year over by south of Belfield on Kabishtas, and there was a few other ones in there.
It's temporary right-of-way fees.
Yeah, fee and for construction easements.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, we have interstate engineering.
Morning, Commission.
Good morning.
Just a quick update on our design project for 38th Street Southwest Bridge replacement. Hydraulic report and alternative analyses are ready for the TSNL meeting scheduled for March 9th. The geotechnical report has been received. Landowners have provided verbal acceptance of the easement terms, and we will begin right-of-way plating next week. Solicitations of views have been circulated, including utility operators. Documented CADX will be completed based on their responses. The design surface has been completed, and we will be applying for the 404 permit soon.
Okay.
Any questions on that design project? Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Northern Plains, Jeremy Wood.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
A few updates. Briefly talk about the construction projects. We have the final records submitted to the DOT, the central offices, reviewing the final records for the 30th Street project, so not a whole lot to report until the DOT goes through their final review. Same thing with 127th and 131st. The construction's complete, except for seeding, and we're working on the final documents for that project. Some of the projects that have been bid but not started yet is the 38th Street, just southwest of Richardson by Dwayne Sattler's. That project was bid at the last meeting. Wilson Construction is a low bidder, and he has mentioned a June starting date. It's probably a 2 or 3 week project, but probably starting as June is what he is anticipating. Next project, the 83rd and 86th Avenue, was just awarded a few minutes ago to Schwartz Construction. They have indicated a starting date of July. We have a completion date, I think, in, I believe, mid-August, so trying to beat the harvest work that's going to be down there. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with that one, is get that done before harvest. Some of the other projects over by Belfield, I'm going to actually skip ahead to the 131st project. Good news on that project. At the last meeting, it did not get approved for any state funding, but in the last couple weeks, there was some leftover House Bill 1505 money. So that project did get funded through that. It'll actually, I think, pay for most of the project, if not all of it. We're looking at bidding that project sometime this year with construction, possibly this year, but probably most likely sometime next year for construction. But still got to go through the DOT process and the core permit and some other things, but we're hoping to get it bid this year with construction next year at the latest. Also 131st north of Belfield, that has some federal funding. It's a little bit different than the state funding, but that's kind of the same timeline. We're looking at bidding that this year with construction in 2023. And then last, Al mentioned it briefly, 32nd and 107th Avenue. It's about 6.5 miles that we're looking at surveying and designing. The design is actually fairly close to being done, or will be done in a couple weeks. We're looking at bidding that. Hopefully there's a few things that have to happen, but potentially in May, bid opening. We got to get a core permit, got to get some easements in place, but if things fall in place, we'll have the design done for May bid opening. What we're looking at doing is just doing the grading work this year, and then paving possibly 23 or whenever funding would allow, but we would at least do the grading this year is what the plan is. Other than that, I guess that's kind of kind of it for the projects that are on my list.
Jeremy, maybe you should kind of brief on the issue we had with that project. So I think some people in their mind are wondering what the DBE, maybe you could just kind of mention how they got to try and meet that goal.
Sure. I probably wasn't privy to all the discussions, but that, what we call the Richardson South project, or 83rd Avenue and 86 by, Eric Kuntz and Messers live down there, and Conlon and Gebhardt, that project that was just awarded. The DOT sets a goal for a DBE, or a disadvantaged business enterprise, which could be minority owned or disadvantaged in some way. The goal is, if you're gonna bid it as a prime contractor, this particular project, you had 4% to try to meet. What happened is, I think the low bidder actually met the 4%, but he didn't get his paperwork in, as from what I understand. So they went to the second place bidder, which was Schwartz Construction. They were under their 4%. I think they initially kicked their bid out. I think they've reconvened last week and went through their paperwork. And even though they were under the 4%, they made a good faith effort to be that 4%. So it sounds like the DOT is going to award it to Schwartz. If they don't award it to Schwartz, it'll go to the third place bidder, which is their DB is way less than 4%, which I think would probably be kicked out again. So you'd potentially go to the fourth place bidder. So every time, obviously, you disqualify a bidder, the price goes up. So it's kind of the government hoops that you got to go through. So that being said, there wasn't a whole lot of difference between the low bidder and the second place bidder. I think it was about $15,000. So there's cost there, don't get me wrong, but it's not $200,000 of extra cost. So that's what I know of the situation. It's really out of the county's control at this point to award it. It's mostly what the DOT does their detailed paperwork after the bid. So there's really not much the county can really do at this point, other than let the DOT go through their process.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of there's obviously a benefit of getting federal funding, but there's a lot of paperwork that follows through at the end. Any more questions or anything else I can try to answer? Thank you.
Thank you. We will go down to the City of Belfield lift station funding request.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Bruce Bear from the City Council of Belfield. And I believe you have our proposal from Interstate Engineering on our lift stations for a total cost of $2.3 million. And I believe that's going out for bids here hopefully shortly, because we need to get them replaced, because they keep going down on us, and usually on Saturdays and Sundays. So the City of Belfield is looking for some assistance with that project. And this is not approved by the City of Council of Belfield yet, but I believe that based on my numbers, the city could come up with about $1 million to $1.2 million of those funds out of their coffers without having to raise any taxes. We did apply for the low interest loan for that also. But if we can get some help from the Stark County, that would be great. We really don't want to raise our water rates, which if we borrow the money, we'd probably have to raise the water, put about a $20 fee per month on our citizens' water bills. So. Any questions?
Mr. Bear, the low interest rate, that loan, have you heard anything back on that one, or?
We have not, no. There's actually a public hearing March 10th on that that's required for that loan application.
Okay.
So your funding sources basically would be the loan that you're looking at doing the cash
our
reserve,
cash.
the cash reserve, and then
Yes.
anything that the county potentially.
Yeah.
So does, I don't know if one of the civils could answer this, but is there any, like, I know rural development has these grants and programs and financing mechanisms. Have you looked into that?
We had applied, or Interstate Engineering had applied for a grant for us, and we got, it's on a point system, and we didn't get it. I can't remember what we rated on it, but we rated out of the score to get that grant.
That one wasn't through the, I think Neil is you're talking about the, Stark Development?
No, no, the rural development has, you know, they develop small communities, develop water lines, sewer lines, water and sewer projects. Yeah, okay.
We really don't want to take our coffers down too far, because I know the next project we probably have coming up is we've been having a lot of root problems in our system, and so we may be looking at lining our sewer septic lines.
So the other question I have is, I don't know the bill number, but in the special session, there was also some state money that was allocated back out for infrastructure, water and sewer as well. I don't know the details. I just remember it being there. It may be not even qualified for it, but I'm just wondering if that was looked at as well.
That I couldn't answer that. I'll make a note of that and ask Interstate Engineering. I thought Bob was going to be here from Interstate Engineering too, but
He
unless he's
notified
coming
me.
later, but,
He notified me this morning and said he couldn't make it.
okay.
And the total project again is the 2.2?
2.2, 2.3, something like that, yeah. With the big one being our east system.
Okay.
And we've already put the middle system, I think, is only like 60-some thousand that we need for that. That's because in the last year, we put in we rebuilt that one within the last 2 years.
And then again, refresh my memory, you have about how much available from your?
I would say about $1 million to $1.2 million we could take out without causing any.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Messer, are you gonna look into that bill and see?
I can make a call. I'm not probably, I'll do what I can.
Okay.
Yep, do some background on that.
Yeah, and I can visit with Interstate to see if they know anything about that too.
Okay. So after the public hearing on March 10th, you're gonna know more about the low interest loan, correct?
Yeah.
So then you'll have more of a solid number of kind of what you're looking at?
Well, if we wouldn't have to borrow that money, it would be great, because if we have to borrow the money, then we've got to raise rates to the consumers to pick that up, to be able to pay it back.
Okay.
Because we don't have that room in our budget to pay back that loan without passing it on to the citizens, so we prefer not to do that.
Okay.
So if we get help from Stark County, then we would need to do that.
Okay.
Because we actually applied for, I think, 1.7 million for the loan, because it doesn't cost anything to apply for it.
Yep.
And you only pay for what you use, so.
I definitely want to see us help you out. But, let's see what comes up after that meeting.
You bet, and I'll appreciate it.
About the levies and all that, I mean, could you meet too? With the levies, and what I'm asking is if Karen could go to Belfield and meet with the levies and everything and see where we're all sitting.
Well, I guess I kind of already know where Belfield is sitting with levies, and they have one of the highest city levies out of all the cities.
Oh, they do?
Yes. So I don't think that raising their taxes anymore would really be an option, or they're going to have some angry citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why instead of increasing levies, we look at attaching fees onto the water bills to help pay for some of the stuff we do.
Okay. Okay.
And you said about $20 each water bill to pay for this.
That's what was estimated by Interstate Engineering, yeah.
To cover the loan.
Mm-hmm.
That loan is what, a 10-year loan or what?
I believe it's a 20.
Right, I mean, I know we have some money. It's like we do have some small cities coming. I think maybe that was some of our intentions is to help out the small communities. But we will have to wait and see what your numbers are and then wait till the other cities come forward also.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And then I'll keep you posted.
Alrighty, thank
Okay,
you.
yep,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
The City of South Hart funding request, please. Mr. Floyd Hurt?
Floyd's not here.
Maybe he'll be here later.
Okay. City of Richardson funding request. Tom Roll?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Tom Roll. Well, I guess we were looking for funding too on our streets. I guess you should have some of the project and stuff for our streets. It's about a $7 million project, I guess, mainly is what we're looking for help with. 60% of that will be special and 40% the city plans on paying for.
Have you looked through any type of grants or have you applied through any kind of grant system yet?
I guess we did, didn't we? We did do some, yes. This is Kevin Remington.
If I could just jump in here, I'm Kevin Remington, just recently on the Richardson City Commission. I'm the holdover from the last commission, if you will. We ended up a big turnover this last election in 4 out of 5 positions. I'm the lone holdover. Tom had asked if I would come along just because of the continuity of the process and what we've gone through. This started about, I'll try not to go on too long, this started about 8 years ago, and they've been to the well several times, they being the city commission of Richardson, trying to put different proposals in front of the people. The first one came back and, you know, it was like the yellow brick road, and people were like, no way, we're not having none of it. And it's understandable because when the city of Richardson did a lagoon project in 2014, they did 100% special assessment on that. Came back, those specials are still running. Now, we do have, you mentioned the levy. We have one of the lower levies, and we're kind of proud of that. You will go back and see, I'm sure Ms. Richard could verify that over the last 3 years, that levy has been creeping up. And that's all part of a plan to creep that levy up without the shock effect to people of, oh my gosh, my taxes went from X to Y. So anyway, we have, as far as grants and things, and I'm not suggesting that the members of the commission have that feeling because I know you guys deal with it too. You're always looking for money to try to take care of the county. I get it. We're in the same boat. People have this impression that there's these pools of money laying out there, and there isn't. Occasionally things come available, then the requirements to, qualify for those or this laundry list of things. And yeah, just as the gentleman from Belfield mentioned, a lot of times you get booted. Our engineering firm that we have contracted, SEH, is a regional firm, and they do have an individual that is what their job is to search out, whether they be federal, local, state grants, any other types of funding assistance. They have a person that's all they do. That is their job. And we have been on 2 conference calls with that individual and the senior engineer, just back checking, hey, is there anything else? Did anything else come out? If you notice, I don't know, I can't speak for sure, but I know since I've been on the commission, I haven't been over here asking for money. We do try to stand on our own 2 feet as best we can. But as you all know, these small towns, their infrastructure, I mean, our streets, it's 45 years. Mm-hmm. It's 45 years. I had mentioned a little bit to Commissioner Messner earlier that, I've identified personally about $10 million worth of things. And this is not like improvements. This is maintenance. This is our sewer. We also have a lift station. It's not quite as big as the one in Belfield. But we have one that's probably going to run about $500,000 according to the engineers that needs to be done. The street project is what's right in front of us. That lift station has to come quite closely behind, and behind that there's a few. We had all of our sewer lines scoped. And so we know, we have a very good concept of what's really bad and what's okay and, what can last a while. But there's probably $1 million to $1.5 million over a period of years where we're going to need to go in and address the worst ones first and then, work our way forward, going forward. So that's just kind of the one over the world for us. And we do continue to look for funding, and that's why we're standing here today, seeing you guys as potentially another resource. And again, understanding you've got a whole county to take care of. All these other small communities are the same way. And I would venture to say that every small community in the state of North Dakota is in a similar, we don't have the tax basis. We don't get that revenue that some of the bigger places go, but the bigger places have additional issues that they have to deal with. So we're here a little bit hat in hand just to explain our situation, and anything that the commission would be able to do to help out, anything helps. But again, when you look at that, like I said, there's probably $10 million worth of projects. Now we did try to drop the burden on the taxpayers. We have leveraged 60% special assessment of that project will go to the people. 40% we're using our oil and gas. Now that has been, I won't say a nightmare, but that has been a difficulty because then we had to go through USDA because Bank of North Dakota would only take the sure thing collateral, which was the special assessments, whereas USDA is willing to work with us, and we appreciate that. It's just you get to the federal level and there's a whole nother level of red tape and bureaucracy, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate. And we're still getting through that, but I think we're going to get that. So I think we're going to find the funding. The difference comes in what's the impact on our taxpayer. And then we have to go and look at the next project and then the next project, because they all, as you know, they tie in together. Now one can ask, why didn't you do something with the sewer lines when you're tearing up your streets and da-da-da-da-da? Some of our sewer lines are as deep as 30 feet. So you have no place to put the overburden. So when I crunch the numbers on even a 75% cost share from USDA program that we looked at, I know Mott is looking at taking advantage of that. New England has taken advantage of that. For us, the additional cost of transporting all that material and bringing it back, it ended up costing us more in the end. So subject to your questions, I don't know if that's a long response to what you asked, but I want to give you a little bit of background on where we're at and why we're here.
Well, that's helpful. So this is a 21 project or a 22 project you want to do this year, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, everything should be starting this spring.
So the same question we asked Belfield is, what do you have available to you right now to contribute towards the 2.8 million that you need?
There's probably a total of about $1 million in oil and gas that could be used. However, when we did this road project, we also and I would need data in front of me to give you hard numbers. We also did the plan. We raised the city sales tax by 0.5% to help do this. We leveraged the oil and gas, but at the same time, simultaneously, we've already started putting away money for the maintenance on this project. That's estimated, the first total chip seal is estimated about $500,000, and we're looking at probably year 5 to 7 maybe. We're going to go off the engineers. We're going to let the experts kind of lead us down that road. We probably will have a crack seal within the first 24 months, but that'll be considerably less. We'll take that out of hide. That won't be a big issue. Does that help? Where some of that money, the reason I've said that is some of that money we're holding back for the maintenance, so we're not going back to the people yet again. We're going to try to make that all work, and we're going to make it all work.
So your lift stations and everything else on that part of it all,
those are separate projects, ma'am? Is that the question?
Yes.
Is that part of the 7 million?
Yes.
No, that's in addition to. That's what I'm saying. The street project right now is estimated at 7 million.
Okay.
Okay. And then the lift station would be about $500,000.
Yeah,
We have cursory numbers on the lift station project.
Okay.
And then the lining, that's the part that we haven't even got to the point where we've gotten solid numbers on the lining. That's why I gave you, those were my numbers, about 10 million in projects coming up over the next several years.
Okay.
Cause see, once we get leveraged on a $7 million project, now we don't have a kitty to go to for the next thing. So now we're like, how do we make this happen, you know? And again, I appreciate that probably the county and every other small community in Stark County is in the same boat, but that's where we're at.
Okay. I don't know how, the other commissioners feel. It would be just nice to have numbers in front of us on all the, on all the projects, what you have to
Sure,
use on
and
them.
realistically, the number, okay, so let's just take out the lining, that's anecdotal evidence, so you know where we're at. We're not gonna have those numbers for quite some time. I don't even know that the lift station project is gonna go forward in 2022. Like I say, right now, what's in front of us is a $7 million road project. And I just wanted to give you that for color on what we have coming down, because you could say, well, if Bank of North Dakota is gonna do, the 60% because of the specials and USDA is gonna fund the other, and why are you standing here?
Yeah.
And the reason we're here is because we have these other projects coming forward, so if we can lessen the impact on the taxpayers now, you get where I'm
Yep,
going.
I get it.
Okay.
I think that this is something that we listen to all the small towns and then put it all together and see how we can help out everybody.
That's all we could ask.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, that only gives us for right now 6 minutes.
Oh, Madam Chairman, Mr. Hurt did show up.
Oh, I
I
don't,
don't know if he could be done in 6 minutes or not, but,
we have a 10 o'clock.
okay.
Mr. Hurt will,
I'll be brief.
okay.
I've heard that.
Good morning.
Yeah.
This town of South Hart's kind of in a bind. When the town was developed, they run 3-inch water lines and 2-inch laterals. And of course, the fire hydrants, the fire trucks back then could load off of a 2-inch lateral. And now we're kind of in a problem in the old part of the town. And we have to load the fire trucks over the top with a hose. The project is $4,910,000.
4 million?
Yes, sir. And needless to say, we got 310 people in town. And from what I was told, the average income's about 41,000. So it's pretty hard to tax them to do this project, and it is kind of important because the new fire trucks, you just can't hook them on some of the fire hydrants. That's my story.
Has your auditor, anybody helped you with any grant system? To get anything going with a grant system to
Well,
see?
we were I don't know, we were told that I needed to come to you and tell you what I got, and then we could get some kind of grant. Says, I thought we needed to do paperwork first, but I don't know, they said,
If you're referring to myself, I did want you to come forward and just explain what's going on here so we can start working and help you guys. You're gonna have to help yourselves too, but we gotta set a plan and get going on it, because it's, to have a fire system that you can't use that's pretty deadly.
yeah. We do have, on outlining years, I think it's 79, we went down the west side of town with a 6-inch line. And on that line, we have hydrants, but then you gotta lay hoses out. So, I don't know if you want this here, I'll leave it. If not,
Please,
Yes.
please.
Is that your engineering?
can I come forward?
Yes, you can come forward. Yes. I'll make copies. Or Karen, can you make copies for everybody? Okay. Thank you.
Sit.
Do you have a meeting coming up at all where you're gonna discuss any of that
Well,
with grants or anything?
we have discussed it and rediscussed it, but we just don't have the money to step out into a big project like this, or part of it.
So my suggestion with the grants, and this is what I kind of was suggesting to Bernie when he brought it up, is that you need to pay somebody to go out and apply for those grants for you. And so that's a much smaller cost than what they'd be applying for in grants. But I would be willing to work with your auditor. She wants to talk to me and see if we can figure something out with her budget. I know that you guys don't levy much as far as taxes or anything goes. But I can at least look it over with her and see if we could get a plan together to contract somebody to apply for some of that funding.
Excuse me. I talked to several of them people, and whoever I talked to, I think they were shysters. 'Cause they wanted a lot of money first up front, and then so much a month. And, you know, and then if they find a project, they want a percent of the project. And so I don't know.
Just to apply?
To prepare grants and find grants for you.
Commissioner Zander?
Yeah, I know from previous experience with Mr. Hurt, have you got Roosevelt Custer involved in any of this as far as helping you applying for grants and things like that?
I talked to that lady here once, and they didn't have any money. But I sure would be willing to approach it again.
Yeah, I don't hear much about what's going on with Roosevelt Custer anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what, you know, we provide funding for that organization as well. And sometimes I wonder if we're getting our dollar value here.
I don't know.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.
I know it's a struggle, Floyd.
Yeah.
We've talked about that
Especially
in the
when you
past.
got young people, waitresses and stuff. We do have some oil people too, but the nearest I could find out, the average income is 41 or 42,000. And with the inflation, excuse me, the way it is, pretty tough on them.
Hey,
to tax them.
We're all feeling the pain.
I know.
41,000 looks pretty good to me right now.
I know.
Me too, but.
Okay.
Thanks,
And so
Floyd.
then they
You bet.
agree to-
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank
No,
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for your promptness. That was quick.
He was right on it.
Right on the money.
Okay.
We are ready for the 10 a.m. bid opening for road equipment, gravel and paving.
Before we do that, we talked about this project awarding to Schwartz. I didn't check my emails, but Karen, you got one at 9 o'clock. They are now chosen to award it to Wilson Construction. I don't have a clue because Schwartz's DBE goal was we had 3.34 and this guy's got 0.27, so don't be surprised if this gets thrown out and it might go somewhere else. Out of my control. So now I've got a resolution here from the DOT to award it to Wilson Construction, so
And
I
what
guess
was, what was the price difference on
I'm not sure right offhand.
I guess from the Schwartz bid to Wilson bid was about 45,000 more from really the second place to third place bid.
And the first one that got thrown out to Schwartz was 15,000, if I heard you correctly. Right?
It's about a little over 20 actually. I guess from the true low bid to what is the third place bid is about 70 grand.
Okay.
And I apologize to the commission. I mean,
That's okay.
Al and I really, it's kind of out of our control. The DOT sets these DB goals, and we kind of get our marching orders from the DOT. So it's sorry for the confusion, but it's kind of the way it goes, I guess.
So here's the new resolution. So, like I said, I'm just wondering if if we couldn't put something in place, because like I said, to get this signed, if they would throw out third place bid and decide to award it to the fourth place bid, so the board could have Commissioner Arthur's authorization to sign, because I honestly believe that this is gonna get thrown out too, and it probably go to fourth bid.
And who takes care of that money when they keep throwing them out? Stark County.
Well, it's 80% Fed and 20% county, but yes, it does. And from the low bid to the high bid's over $100,000 difference, so.
Yep.
Like I said, let's just move on, and you sign this one here, but I would like the board to give Carla authorization to sign a new resolution if it does so happen to come up, so we don't have to wait for another meeting, because like I said, this,
I'll offer that motion.
Just a quick question then, under discussion. So, so the DOT controls all this to include rebidding the total project? And I suppose
yes. Actually, this DBE stuff is controlled by the feds.
Okay.
They've got a set of rules, they gotta follow them. So, yes, the DOT will rebid it. I don't know if they will. I think they go by percentage above. The total project was 1,2,119,000, so I don't know. It's been real frustrating, because this bid took place February 11th, so we've been, but it is what it is.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
And then on the, we've got gravel crushing bid, miscellaneous paving. Traditionally, I think we've opened up the gravel crushing bid. The paving bid is kind of, I don't know if we got more than one, but what I would suggest is go ahead.
We vote on the signing,
Sure.
please. Okay, we had a motion and a second for the chair to sign. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Al. Go ahead.
Okay, and I guess what I would suggest is I can take the other bids over, make sure the contractor's license is in there, rather than you open them all unless you so choose, but I would like to publicly read the crushing bid, because, that's, and the rest of the bids are just hourly rental rates or some fencing quotes.
Okay, so let me open it real quick. We only got one for crushing and stockpiling gravel.
License on there and everything.
That's why I'm checking their contractor license. No.
It'll probably be just a per cubic yard price.
This is per cubic yard.
Fisher Industries, price per cubic yard is $3.72. The total bid amount is $186,000.
See, that amount will vary depending on what we crush. It's just a estimate.
How's that compared to last year?
I think it's up a little. Fuel's up some too. I think last year might have been like, top my maybe 350 something.
Okay.
And then the rest of them, I would suggest, if it's okay, I'll just open up, make sure the contractor, unless you wanna. I think
We
you should.
We should do a motion to accept that bid from Fisher on the crushing. It's the
Could I get a
only
motion to accept the bid on?
So
Okay.
I'll make that motion too.
Okay. There's a motion on the table to accept the bid for Fisher for crushing.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Moved in second. All in favor, say aye. Oh,
Aye.
never mind, it's about money. Commissioner Zander.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchek.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried.
I'll take a look at these here and then see if the contractor likes everything appropriate stuff, and then we can get a list so we can advertise or put it in our resolution that who
Okay.
all bid for it.
Okay.
That'll save some time.
There you go. And we are going to go into break. Sorry for any